Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me this evening are Jen,
Hello.
Tier,
What up?
Traveling Exhibit, Ka,
How's everybody doing tonight?
and as it is a Friday, once again, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. How are all of you doing?
One more day till my vacation starts. I'm not gonna survive.
Mmm.
You got it. You can do it.
I'm already praying for the sweet release of death.
Isn't that just life working for the federal government?
Yes, but
Yeah.
today is slightly worse because I want the meteorite to hit me, and it's purposely missing.
So they keep getting smaller and smaller as they go through Earth's atmosphere. So
Don't remind me. I just want it. Just hit me now, Lord. Let me go.
well, you're also a lich, so that really doesn't get to work as well as you think it does.
Yeah.
It has to
that I'm
hit your
bound to-
phylactery.
I forget I'm bound to this moral coil until my phylactery goes. Why did I hide it from myself?
And you have to have some pretty bad luck for it to hit your phylactery.
I mean, there's a permit. Like, you had to go through like 4 permits way down beneath the crust. Like, yeah, man, I'm fucked. Like, why did I put it there?
Though it does make absolute sense that the federal government would hire liches.
I mean, there are several liches in. Look, have you seen Nancy Pelosi? She's a lich. Chuck Schumer's a zombie, and Yertle the turtle isn't a turtle. He's actually a revenant, and every time he freezes up, is death. Grasping at his soul because it's almost his time.
So,
God damn it!
if Nancy Pelosi's a lich, does that mean we already know that her phylactery is submerged in a barrel of alcohol?
Yes. That's protected. And actually, David, remember when her husband got attacked about a year or two ago?
With a hammer.
Yep.
With a hammer?
The hammer.
That was a paladin.
Ah, okay.
Like
Paladin Butters.
He was asking for where's Nancy because he wanted to smite her with the the hammer.
Except the thing was, do you guys know how ridiculous that fucking story was? Because Nancy Pelosi wasn't his target.
It was
No.
the husband.
Do you know who his target was?
The husband's boyfriend.
No.
Who?
His plan was that he was going to hold hostage Nancy Pelosi and her husband so that he could lure out this one random fucking community college feminism professor who is really behind the Illuminati. Bear in mind, again, community college level professor.
Oh my god!
Then he was going to force her to confess to all the shit that she's done as the leader of the Illuminati.
Sanguine, look, I'm putting this. I use these words not as an insult, but I may be insane. I may also be black, but I've never heard some fucked up shit like that.
Yeah, you aren't quite kidnapped a sitting congresswoman and her husband to lure a community college feminist professor out of hiding, which she wasn't in hiding. She was just at home.
Look, all right, all right, I'm gonna say this again. That's fucked up. He's crazy. I like my paladin my paladin story better.
That makes more sense.
Yes, at the very least, it makes more sense.
It's the thing that I find hilarious every time someone goes, well, why is it that when someone on the right does something fucked up, there's always, oh, he's insane. Okay, what's your example? Well, this guy who believed that a community college professor of feminism is the leader of the Illuminati. And you don't see that as insane?
And you don't see
and he wasn't
90%
on the
of the
right?
stuff you do insane?
Wait a minute, and again, he wasn't on the right. He was a leftist. He was an illegal from Canada who supported Black Lives Matter and all kinds of other trans bullshit.
The thing is that he wasn't really left or right. What he was, is there a conspiracy theory? Yes. I believe it. That was his ideology. It was, if there's a conspiracy theory. Because he believed conspiracy theories that were diametrically opposed.
He's around a hollow earther and a flat earther?
He believed that both the Jews and the Nazis controlled the world.
I can attest. Hold on, I can attest that the secret cabal of Nazis. We do not. They do not control anything. We were defeated. They were defeated in World War II. I do not pine for mein Führer. Hitler was bad. Yes,
but yeah, he. When you look at all the ideologies that he espoused, you realize very quickly, like half of these directly contradict the other half. And yeah, it is shit like both flat and hollow.
How did that get on there? Like, sorry about that. Forget about that. That was a mistake. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
But it was like every one of his. It was literally, if there was a conspiracy theory, he believed it. Agartha, he believed it. Flat Earth, he believed it. Hollow Earth, he believed it. Hollow Earth, Dark Sun, he believed it.
Moon Egg, he believed Moon Egg.
Jews controlled the Earth, he believed it. The Illuminati controlled the Earth, he believed it. The Nazis controlled the Earth, he believed it. The Nazis were on the moon, he believed it. The moon landing was fake, he believed it. But the moon landing happened, and then we found Nazis, he believed it. It was just everything that was a conspiracy theory.
He was clearly mentally unstable.
Yep.
Clearly.
Yeah. Canada also has no asylums. We used to. Not all of them were bad. Some of them were. But,
So, it's a case of we threw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Instead of fixing the problem, we just kind of just said, oh, you know what, fuck it.
Yep. And it's infuriating because there are things that it did extremely well. And when you look at the history of U.S. mental facilities, you notice a trend. So, U.S. mental facilities, they were founded. They had a good occupant to room and occupant to staff ratio. Then we stopped building them for some reason. Then we kept adding people to them without increasing the pay or the staff. Staff left because they were now being overworked and underpaid. We kept adding more people to them. Staff left. We kept adding more people to them. Staff left, and at this point, the only people that wanted to work there were people that either had only the best intentions and were doing it for truly noble reasons, or those that went, wait, there's a bunch of really vulnerable people that no one will listen to, that I have almost unobserved access to, and you'll pay me? Those were the two people that ended up continuing to work there, and shit got worse. Gee, I wonder why. When you have more people in a facility, then you have beds in a facility, then you have rooms in a facility. When you have less staff handling more people for less pay,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have standards for who can work there, because if you had standards, you would have no employees.
Yep.
And you're surprised that
The longer you live in the United States, the more you hate your own federal government.
yeah,
Or I don't hate my federal government. I just hate the assholes running it.
That's part of the federal government here. There's always going to be assholes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but nothing. It's true. You can love your country. Here's what people don't understand. You can love your country, but hate your government. It's true.
I hate the assholes that run my government.
The West is all in the same boat.
They're all part of the same cheek. There's a left cheek and a right cheek, and they're all part of the same asshole.
oh, and because the hate of the government just came up, and that's kind of related to the reason why I named the stream what I did today. You guys heard anything about the California election that's going on?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm still hoping, but it looks a little rigged.
Yeah, the fact that, hey, he's in the lead. Everyone announces he's in the lead. Everyone announces that he's going to be in the second election and that everything's good. Then someone goes, well, unless they find a lot of mail-in ballots. And everyone goes, oh, true. If they find a lot of mail-in ballot, we found a lot of mail-in ballots.
Like they did in 2020.
Hold on. Looking at it right now, it is current best with 250,868. So you had 30% of the vote, 35%. Mm-hmm. Spencer Pratt has close to 175, and which at 82%. 28%. And then Nithya Raman has 153, so at 24%.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the Save Act gets passed. Like, we have one day of fucking voting. We don't have a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's probably gonna be a whole lot of bullshit stuck in that Save Act too. That's what I'm thinking there is.
It's always gonna be bullshitting, but as long as the main parts exist, like with the one day of voting and IDs.
Oh no, I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, most of it will be fine.
The thing is that it's becoming a routine aspect that they start losing. Oh, we found more votes. What do you mean you found more votes?
They just found them. That's not
suspicious at all.
Suspicious at all, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the where did you find them?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They never tell you that part. We just found all these votes that, oh no, that's suddenly in the favor of the person that we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, this isn't anyone that says, oh, Trump is a tyrant. Okay, but the people just saying fuck your vote, we pick who you want. Yeah, that's not tyrannical. That's democracy working. Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's democracy for you. We live in a democracy. No, we don't. There's a constitutional republic. God damn it. Shit pisses me off.
If you want, again, if you make voting mandatory, fine then. But I want voter IDs.
Yep.
And I do disagree with making
person. Yeah.
mandatory voting. Mandatory voting is bullshit.
Yes. I think if you don't want to vote, you shouldn't have to.
Yep. And I don't like voting, and I'm not going to vote for anybody I don't like.
Well, fair enough.
I'm a little bit more hardcore nowadays. I actually think that you should, to a certain level, be qualified to vote. Like the IQ test thing is becoming a higher option to me in terms of that. And also, if you have nothing to lose in the stakes, like I know a lot of us I certainly don't pay much into the taxes, right? So I'm actually okay with losing my vote a little bit. Does that mean I shouldn't have a say? No, that's not it. I'm aware that I right now have nothing to lose, and I'm a net negative. And a lot of people who aren't are losing the most, and because they're losing so much, they're not able to keep doing it. The money runs out eventually. That's the truth of it.
Money is a problem.
I'm a big fan of you need buy-in. I would fully support a system that says you need buy-in. And that buy-in can take a couple different forms to my mind. I'm in favor of the service guarantees citizenship, as well as the...
Excuse me.
You're a net payer when it comes to taxes. I think that if you're in the military, you should get a vote. If you are a net payer, you should get a vote. I think that there should be other ways of doing it as well, but it should be those two groups. Absolutely, we can decide on the rest. I'm sick and tired of people that they don't benefit society getting to vote for more things given to them.
All the time.
So having some caveat, absolutely. Now, we can't do poll tests because poll tests were outlawed. I think that was not the brightest idea. I think that outlawing the version that that existed at the time, absolutely. Outlawing the idea in general, not really. So, like I said, there should be some criteria. It shouldn't just be you live here.
Again, if you don't belong here, you don't get to vote.
No.
Plain and simple.
And I had a question for you guys. The other thing that I wondered about in terms of stacking, if it was people from California who just simply no longer live there and haven't for a while, is it possible that they're getting them to vote too?
It's possible, but it's also possible that they're using people that no longer live there as illegitimate votes. So, so by that I mean, okay, Jen, you used to live in Canada, but you used to live in California, and your old address got this mail-in ballot. So someone just picked it up and filled it out on your behalf. You never actually voted.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Like between the houses being burnt down in certain areas, and then like there's been a mass exodus from California for a while.
Yeah.
You know, so like where are they getting their extra numbers from? Like, yeah, I don't doubt some of it might be outsourcing, but like it's easier to do it from at home.
Well, it's also the large homeless the large homeless population. Again,
Yeah, they were.
you go ahead.
Well, I was seeing videos, and I don't know if it's just the one off where you had woke individuals going up to homeless people and being like, "Hey, if you guys do this, we'll give you like $10, $5,
Yeah,
and like
it's
smokes." And
yep, that's what was happening, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would use homeless people as okay, here we'll feed you. You know, here's
Here, take this vote.
yep.
And that is some shady bullshit. That should not be fucking allowed to happen. I'm sorry.
that's probably why they're trying to hammer down on Pratt, because one of the things that he wants to do is he does want to get rid of the homeless in California who aren't actually from California.
Mm-hmm.
He wants them to go back to where they're from so that they can get help in the states that they're from instead of leaning on California to pay for everybody, because it's not working.
Which I don't see a problem with that, actually.
No, I agree with him. And also, if they're not from that state, they shouldn't be allowed to vote for that state unless they're a living citizen there now. Like, I'm okay if somebody who's moved there and lived there to now do that. Like, they're working and paying taxes there now too. They're paying into the system. They have a right to be like, well, like, don't burn my block down, you know? Like, let's pay for better fire services in this scary state. But if you're not, no. If you're homeless, no.
And it's not their fault most of the time. It's not their fault they're homeless. It's the fact that California's fucking housing policy and their war on homelessness that they started back in the fucking 80s has gotten worse and worse and worse over time because they were putting more money in their pockets than actually helping the fucking people out there.
It's also not like a permanent thing, what I'm saying. Like, yeah, a lot of the problem is like homeless that are just drug addicts, but like for people who would like the help to get off their feet, well, you're going to be back into the system anyway. Yeah, you should be like allowed to vote. It's just right now it's like there's
And
too
most
many
of the
ways
homeless
for
people in my state are fucking crackheads, that's for damn sure. I know because I meet a bunch of them every time I go down to the store. Seriously, there is a shitload of homeless people just hanging out down by the fucking gas stations, the 24-hour ones. Oh my god, they are the most annoying fuckers on the planet.
Wow.
And I do not feel bad for half of these people. Because there's one time I actually came out, I was buying a pack of cigarettes, right? I had just bought them. I hadn't even opened them yet. And this one black lady comes up to me. She's like, "Can I get a cigarette from you?" And I said, "No." Because I just bought them. And she's like, "Have a heart, man." I was like, "I don't." And she's like, "Those are going to kill you." I said, "They're going to kill you too."
I'm going to kill you too, bitch.
You fucking moron. And she just kept walking. And she kept walking off acting like she was like a hoity-toity. And I was like, oh, fucking Christ, kill me now. They are all like this.
Maybe it's how I was raised. I don't like beggars.
Me either. I don't.
The main problem when it comes to how they've been handling homelessness is their solution to homelessness doesn't work. And this is where almost every government program fails miserably. What should happen is you put a program in place and you have this program is meant to result in X outcome. You declare that. And then you should, as the program continues, determine, is it having X outcome? If it is, without Y negative outcome that's too negative to be something allowable, then okay, continue the program. If you go, this will have X outcome. And it doesn't have X outcome. Or worse, it has negative X outcome.
And the outcome didn't do anything the way that you explained it or did how it wanted.
Well, like I said, if X outcome is the positive outcome, negative X outcome is the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put together a council that's meant to reduce homelessness. Okay? So after a year, did the council reduce homelessness? Is homelessness down? No.
Not a
Get rid of the
single person.
council. Did homelessness increase? Get rid of the fucking council.
Yep.
And you do that until you find things that work. The problem is that once a program is started, it doesn't die. Prisons were absolutely fucking horrific with this when I was a corrections officer. I've told you guys about the 6 HR departments.
Yep.
Yes.
You did. I think it was like 2 weeks ago you said that.
At no point did anyone go, we should probably get rid of that HR department. Because we made that HR department for a specific reason. And that specific reason never came to fruition. So we shouldn't just continue pouring money into this. We should get rid of that and try something else. And they don't get rid of it because that's someone else's legacy. I don't.
Do you like HR departments? Because we have HR departments for HR departments.
Yeah, HR department for your HR department.
Well, like I said, it's someone's legacy because someone in politics went, I'm going to make this and it's going to have this effect. It never had that effect, but they did make it. And now they can point to, I did something. In truth, they did fuck all other than come up with an interesting way to spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
But
that sounds about right.
they can point to it and say, I did that.
Just like those Joe Biden stickers. I did that.
And to my mind, I don't give a shit who did it. I give a shit if it worked. If it works and you did it, sure, take credit for it. If it doesn't work and you did it, we shouldn't just keep it because you did it and it's something that you can point to that you did. It should be gotten rid of. We should check every government program and see if that government program is fit to purpose. And fit to purpose means that it does what it is supposed to do. If it does what it's supposed to do, okay, we can discuss whether or not we want to keep it. If it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or causes what it was supposed to do to get worse rather than better.
Which is what Doge was supposed to do, wasn't it?
That was one of the, well, yes and no. So what Doge was supposed to do was mainly find improper payments.
Mm-hmm.
Those improper payments could be accidental or fraud. It was meant to find improper payments, which is slightly different because what I'm talking about is not just, well, did the money get paid to the correct people in the correct way? And did we get something from it? It's, did we get what we were supposed to from it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit petty. I kind of like the idea of if you were supposed to fix the homeless problem and you didn't, the homeless are now going to live with you. Have fun with that.
All your mansions are now housing homeless people. You're welcome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If I remember the data correctly, do you guys know what the average price per homeless person in California was? Spent by all the different organizations, all the different government things, everything. Do you know how much was spent on average per homeless person?
Millions? Billions?
Trillions?
80-something thousand. It was about the same as the median wage for the state.
Jesus Christ.
So by going through all these intermediaries, we spent 80-something thousand. We could have given every poor person in the state a median income and ended up with about the same price or less.
Probably would be cheaper.
And that's with them getting the money and then going sink or swim. To my mind, you do. If you were going to do that, you do it for a year. If they get better in that year, fantastic. If they don't get money. Fuck you.
Yep.
You don't get permanent money. But it should be that we check to see what the effect of a program is. This is something that Thomas Sowell talks about this quite often, that when he was younger, he was rather radical in his ideology. And he decided to get a job with the government to do stats. And one of the things that he decided to look into was whether or not a government program had the effect that it was supposed to have. He found out it didn't, and that it was actually detrimental. And he went forward thinking that, oh, if I put this information forward, people will be able to get rid of that government program and try a different government program that might actually work. The response that he got was, why are you talking about this? Why are you looking into that? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Idealism.
Yep.
Ideology, more or less. And it's
and yeah, that's exactly what they do, Rotten. It is exactly that when their program does fuck all, they still point to it and say, at least I did something. So, to use the prison example, because again, I experienced this. There's an issue with corruption within the prison systems. This isn't going to surprise anyone. There's an issue with people fucking and smuggling for offenders. That's not going to surprise people. There's an issue with guards that are overly draconian with offenders. That's not going to surprise anyone. These are all legitimate issues. These are things that we need to fix. Now, of those, the one that I think is the least common is the draconian correction officer. Sucking, fucking, smuggling happens constantly. Corruption happens constantly. So, the state, seeing these problems, decided that they wanted to fix it. Their fixes never fucking worked because their fixes weren't the thing that would work. If you want to fix that problem, do you guys know how you fix that problem?
How?
You increase the pay of your workers, and then you become selective with who gets to work for you. So, as you get more people willing to do the job, you can be more selective with who you allow to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
And by being more selective, you're able to choose not to hire people that have a decent chance of being scumfucks. But when you're undermanned, you need everybody that you can get. Remember what I said about what happened with insane asylums?
Mm-hmm.
This is sounding familiar, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
It's the same fucking problem.
I've heard this song before, and I don't know what it did.
So yeah, what you do is you increase the pay, you increase the standard, you increase the staffing, and eventually you have enough people there that are there for either the right reason or there for some reason other than, well, I get free reign.
Yeah.
Are there for some reason other than the wrong reasons, let's phrase it that way, and the quality improves. What they do instead is they make an office that's meant to handle the issue. The office does jack shit. but at least they're able to point to that office and say, I did something to address this issue. It didn't actually do anything to address the issue, but it looks like they're trying.
Didn't actually work, but hey,
Yeah.
I did
And
something.
because no one actually looks into whether any of this shit works, they just keep on doing something to be seen doing something.
Yep. Welcome to the politics of prison.
Yep.
The other thing that you can do, like if you're increasing the pay, it's kind of like when you're and I'm saying this because I was told about a Korean ferry that sank like a week ago, based off of a story from like 14 years ago. But if you're the captain of a ship and you fail with that, you get a higher punishment.
Yep.
Like, yes, you get a higher pay. Yeah, they get to select higher end people, and I approve of that. You're worth the money that you're worth if you're doing your best.
Yep.
You know, but if you're seen to fail so hard that the loss actually causes that much damages, it needs to match that. So no, if you fuck up that badly, you might take a hit for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it needs to mean something.
Or you might not just take a hit, you might just lose your fucking freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like if you're cutting corn, like if negligence, like especially in a field that is, you know, life or death, negligence should really be fucking scrutinized.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like
And-
medical negligence, yeah. Like if say you're a doctor, someone died because, well, they died, I couldn't save them, then that's totally different from someone dying because you fucked up.
And that kind of brings up something that I also wanted to talk about when it comes to medical liability.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that medical liability was determined with the reasonable professional standard. Are you guys familiar with the difference between the reasonable person and the reasonable professional?
Yes, a reasonable person is the average Joe, and a reasonable professional is someone that already knows the field, you know, and they understand the basics, or at least enough of the field to have a comprehensive knowledge of.
Yeah,
Not comprehensive, but a basic knowledge.
Someone
I thought
else.
that's what that was. Yeah.
It's someone else in your field. If someone else in your field would do what you did or something similar to what you did, then you're covered. It's a higher bar than the reasonable person. Reasonable person's really low because turns out a lot of people are kind of stupid. So you take the average person, and there's a good chance that the average person won't understand the intricacies of something. So they hear that, well, this surgeon performed this surgery on this patient, even though it had a 25% chance of failing. So that was clearly malpractice. That was them taking a ridiculous risk. Whereas a reasonable professional might go, yeah, it has a 25% chance of failing, so a 75% chance of success without that procedure. The patient had a 10% survival rate. So you took a 10% survival rate and you turned that into a 25% failure rate. And that failure rate runs the gamut from something actually bad happens to the procedure needs to be retried.
Mm-hmm.
So you have someone who's going to die and you perform this surgery on them. Yes, it has a 25% failure rate, but that failure rate is well worth the improved chance of survival. Because if the surgery goes through properly, they have effectively a 98% chance of survival. So you turn a 10% into a 98%. 75% chance of a 98% survival, and then a 25% of everything from we need to try it again to they die on the operating table. That's a reasonable risk. So there's things that a reasonable person would go, oh, that sounds horrible, because they don't have the information that a reasonable professional would go, oh yeah, why is this being asked about?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I would do. That's what everyone I know in the field would do. So why are we treating it as if it's strange? And this is one of the things that was actually good when I was a corrections officer. Pretty much everything when it came to corrections was tested under the reasonable professional standard first. And then it was only if it failed the reasonable professional standard that I or whoever it was would open themselves up to liability. So if you did something that a reasonable professional would do, by the way, whoever has their mic right in front of a fan, it looks like you call. It is rather windy.
Are you flying kites?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think he's actually paying attention. Call.
Yeah.
Wind. Mic. Loud.
Fan.
Oh. I'm outside. I'm sorry.
Ah.
That better?
See if you can do the toggle between speaking and mute when you go quiet for a while.
Okay.
Do the push to talk because, yeah, the wind was rather aggressive.
Huh. I didn't feel it, but this must be Mike's picking it up crazily.
Yep. Mike's picking it up nice and loud, let's say.
My fault. My sorry.
That's how technology is. It will pick up all the things that you don't want, but when you have something important to say, it'll,
It doesn't pick shit up at all.
So, yeah, it's... The reasonable professional standard is a great thing when it comes to shit like that, where it's information that the average person doesn't have. So, why did you use this come along in this instance? It sounds kind of bad to the average person that, oh yeah, I shoved my thumb into this nerve cluster.
Jesus Christ.
Whereas you go, yeah, I put my thumb into their nerve cluster because they were actively trying to reach for a shiv. And that can still sound bad to the average person. The average professional goes, you really bore down on it, right? Good. Okay, proper form. You're good. Because you're actually trained in the use of come-alongs, and you know what they are. When you use certain control holds, this is the thing that pissed me off when it came to the Chauvin trial. You had a bunch of people that were going, well, he put his knee on his neck. When I saw the first video, I went, I don't think that's on his neck. I think that's all across his shoulder, and it kind of touches the back of his neck, but the weight's on the shoulder.
But the position was a legitimate position.
Yep.
That's something they don't. That's something they don't admit to. It was a legitimate position he used.
Yep. It's a control hold, and it's a fairly common control hold. And it's a fairly common
happens quite a lot
that you're able to do for extended periods without risk in healthy individuals. So it's something that, like, you don't pile 12 people on top of someone's back, you're going to have positional asphyxiation. But having one person put 50% of their weight on their knee that way, the person can't move. But you also aren't crushing their lungs.
The people who judge this a lot have never really encountered somebody who's crazy from drugs.
Yep.
Like it's a whole other experience.
It really
And
is.
if it had been done with a reasonable professional standard, and they had properly talked about the position he was in, it should have come out that, yeah, this is a restraint that's fairly common. This is how you do it. Now, his knee might have been a little bit higher than ideal, but it wasn't on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
But you just kept on hearing people who have never done a control hold look at that and go, well, it looks like it's on his neck. Why is he kneeling on his neck? There's no reason to kneel on his neck. When no, he's kneeling on his shoulder. And only the very end of his knee is anywhere near the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Which is why I also think a lot of them have never been into like a proper psych ward, which they do still exist for like extreme patients. They have to.
We still have one. We still have one in Oklahoma.
Well, because you can't. They'll hurt themselves if they don't kind of strap them down a little bit. They can't help it. It's not their fault, but it's just how it is.
Technically, is their fault.
Well, it depends on what.
Kids.
It depends on what sort of issue the patient's going through. Yeah,
that's kind of where my range was. Like I meant like real psychosis.
Yeah, if you're talking about drug addiction, yeah, that's kind of their fault, not entirely their fault. There is the genetic and biological aspect to it, but even if you have a propensity to getting addicted, you still have to do the drug in the first place.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is still kind of their fault. Whereas if you have someone who is a paranoid schizophrenic,
mm-hmm. That's where I was going.
completely unmedicated, it's not really their choice.
50-50.
It
also
depends
on the genesis, because you do have certain substances can increase the rate of psychosis.
It's also one of those things that I'm gonna borrow a little bit from Monkey's Mr. Jack, because it was pointing it out with handicapped people. Like the reason you don't really want them in a ring with a regular person is because they really don't always know how to pull their punches. Like there's a lack of understanding that they're hitting too hard. You'll get that with somebody who's schizophrenic, because just for a few moments they're not in their own right of mind. So they're hitting with full strength. Like they're pulling with full strength.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dementia patients are horrific with that. You don't know weird, this strength makes no sense until you've had a dementia-ridden patient decide to either latch onto you with their full force or decide that they don't want you there and try to remove you with their full force. It doesn't make sense that this frail old person is able to generate the amount of force that they are. And it's because all the mental governors, they're gone.
Yeah.
So they can hurt themselves in their delusional state.
Mm-hmm. And when they're not in that state, they could be nice, lovely people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even realize that they've done it until, like, and even afterwards, they might not realize they've done it. And you describe it to them, and they're horrified. But that's just how it is, and that's why certain people are. Yeah, that's kind of why I like a mix of people in asylums, because men sometimes deal with that better because you can.
I'm almost at a point of necessity most of the time.
Well, you that's why humans are flawed and failed creatures. We so what's what I'm looking for? We break so easily in places that people don't see.
Mentally, we break easily.
I was trying to use flowery words, you motherfucker. Trying to be poetic. But yes, we break, and it's sad. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking sad. But there, you still gotta remember, like some motherfuckers smoked themselves into this shit situation.
Yep. Oh yeah, like I said, there are definitely conditions that can be brought on by various drugs. And in those instances, it becomes something that is partially their fault at the very least. Because, again, if you're one of the people that smoking weed causes an increased rate of psychosis in, you didn't choose to have the psychosis, but you chose to do a thing that might cause the psychosis.
You chose to do something that would exacerbate the psychosis.
But I'm saying you don't even know if you have that condition, but there's a possibility that you might. So there is some element of blame. I wouldn't say that you caused it or that you did something that directly caused it. It was you did something that might cause it.
That's
And
one
I
of the
think
many
that's an
reasons why I
important
don't.
distinction.
This is one of the many reasons why I'm not a drinker. Like I saw what it did to my father, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to know if I have his tolerance or my mother's tolerance for it. I don't want to chat, so I'm just gonna avoid it all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do drink. I do have a drink on occasions.
You do
I
the
will
social
nurse
drink or one with dinner.
Yes, I social drink. That's all I do. Like there are very few people I will quote unquote drink with because I don't fucking know, and
It's a little bit different but similar. I do have the odd hoot off a pipe because I think a joint is too much. I do think a full joint is way too many levels of alcoholism for me because I actually understand that with pot you don't need that much. But all the same, I acknowledge what it is. It is something that can be abused. It is regularly. A lot of potheads lie about it. Yes, it can be used for some medical things, but in all honesty, a lot of the times it doesn't work. Like it works for some people, but it's not a fix-all for everybody. So I don't like using that as like a pedal for why we should have it.
Yeah, there's some conditions that it can be really beneficial for. So, for instance, if you have a nervous disorder, and by nervous, I don't mean just generally related to nerves. I mean that if you have an anxiety, a panic disorder, the low doses can be beneficial, and those have been confirmed through proper study. Now, I said low doses because high doses can make you paranoid as shit. If you have an issue with certain types of pain, again, it can be beneficial. In other instances, it won't be. If you have certain seizure disorders, again, it can be beneficial. It isn't going to be beneficial for every seizure disorder, but for some seizure disorders, it will be.
It's also with pot, the degree of pot, that's also true. It's the same with liquor.
Yep.
You can get liquor that's 100 proof. I think it would taste like shit, to be honest. Like when it's been described, I'm like, I'm not too keen on what that sounds like. But you can do that. It is the same with pot. So like that was why I was glad that when I learned about it from older people who had been potheads for a long time, and they didn't force it on me. I was just going through back problems, and everything else I was using wasn't working. I was taking way too many Robaxasets. It was actually probably worse what I was doing with the Robaxasets than what I did with the pot. And the stuff they gave me was a little bit potent. So yes, it was in a joint form, but he told me specifically, don't smoke more than like a quarter at a time because you don't need any more. Just tap it out, or technically pot will go out on its own, but like, you know, just for me, he was like, just tap it, it'll go out. And then you can smoke another quarter later if you need to. You know, you don't have to smoke the whole thing. Like what he was seeing from like Snoop Dogg and that kind of crowd, like, yeah, it's funny to see that, but he either thought they had shit pot, or they're not being honest about the size of their crowd, because you don't need that much to get high.
Right.
You know? In fact, they would say that they're just wasting it because you're burning more than you're smoking. What they do.
True. That's true.
But
half of that, honestly, I believe half of the shit they said they were doing is non-existent. Like they're exaggerating.
Yeah, it's part of the crowd and the party crowd is to make it, to hype it up more than what you're really doing. And I'm okay if that's what they're doing. If they're just having a party where it's contained, where they're trying to be responsible, yet no one's driving home.
They might be, but at the same time, it might be that they have a monstrous tolerance, because this happens with alcohol a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If I am talking to someone who doesn't drink very often, or someone who has a low tolerance, and I start going, so I've been drunk twice, and these are the conditions that I was drunk in. It sounds impossible. Saying I've been drunk twice, and both times it was near the LD50 of alcohol. Most people go, yeah, you're bullshitting. No.
Well, the two times that I was blackout drunk, I've been blackout drunk twice in my life.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that concept. I don't like being without control. Yeah, no.
I have no stop. If I'm drinking, I don't stop.
I agree with. Like, I wouldn't.
I've never blacked out. I've felt the mental slip, and I hate the mental slip. It is the worst feeling for me.
I never really quite get that high. I know I do get high, so sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely goofy, you know, when I am. But I never get so high that I'm out of control, because I don't like the idea of that either. Like, I still need to be able to walk down the street in case the apartment had a fire or something. You know, yeah, I insist on that. And I still won't consent to certain things if I'm high. Like, if I know I'm a little too hooched, no, I'll agree to you with that tomorrow when I'm not. Because
that shit don't fly with me.
Like, no. But
like I said, I've never been blackout. I've been to the point where I feel the mental slip, and I hate the mental slip. I still remember everything, but it's that I feel my brain go, look this way, and I can feel that moment where the brain is trying to get my eyes to do what I told it to do, and then suddenly it catches and my eyes look that way. Yep. And there's this feeling of lag, or the way that I refer to it as mental slip. It's like you have gears and the gear starts to slip, and then it catches and it goes, and then it slips and it catches and it goes, and then it slips and it catches and it goes.
It's having an idea of what my memory's actually like. When weirdly simple things are hard for me to remember for no reason. Yeah, it's time to go to bed. Mm-hmm. Drink some water, go to the bathroom, go to bed.
Yep. It's funny that also, because when I noticed this is something about me personally, but when I get blackout drunk, I tend to sleepwalk.
I also
Again, I don't like that
That's
feeling.
a thing.
I'll be back. I'm getting something to drink.
Yep.
it's also I think it's having enough times where things can go wrong even if it's just fun times. And it can be unrelated to you. Like I've had times where in apartments, yeah, I'm with my buddies. We've had a little bit of a joint that we shared, and across the street there's actually a really big fire. And luckily it's in a way where okay, maybe it doesn't affect us, but you look at the houses next door to them and you're like, no, that thing can spread easily. They got it. It wasn't a problem, but you see the mental math, and if you can't think that out when you're a little bit tipsy from a party, that's not good. You need to have somebody sober around because anything can happen. Life doesn't care about your feelings. It's just going to do what it's going to do. So
It doesn't care about my feelings.
no, it sure don't. And fire doesn't care about your feelings either, and it's going to go wherever the wind tells it to. So
I go wherever the wind tells me.
I go where the wind tells me.
Talking
Wherever
shit
this
about fire. Fire can be empathetic.
The fire tells me a lot. I can sense the power of the fire.
But it was things like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be out of my brain cells when it's middle of winter and, okay, should hit the fan. So, yeah. Also, I learned a lot of stories from my brother because he was older enough that I can reflect on his stories and be grateful that he could laugh at them and nothing went wrong. But especially for men, keep a sober one with you because the women will try to kidnap you just the same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if something happens, no one will actually believe you. Or believe that it's an issue, which is a massive fucking problem. I think I talked about it last week where there's the one kid that was blackout drunk at a college party and got taken home by a crazy bitch. That's really the only way to refer to her. That then had her way with him while he was completely blacked out. And then said that he had done things to her while she was completely sober and he was completely blacked out, unable to control any of his muscles. And he got kicked out of his school due to that shit.
Even though that's technically rape on her behalf, but sorry.
Actually, no, it isn't.
Well,
by technicality, it is not. Do you know
unfortunately,
why? Because
women can't rape men.
Well, not entirely accurate. It's due to the definition of rape. In the US, as well as I think it's still this way in Canada, and it's still this way in the UK, Jen. Rape is defined as the unwilling penetration of a victim's mouth, anus, or vagina by a perpetrator's penis, fingers, or foreign object.
That is the definition. I just in a situation where the guy is almost unconscious, I disagree with the feminists, and I understand that's the laws and that's how they treat it. But I've disagreed with that firmly for at least.
Oh yeah, I would absolutely agree with you. It should be considered because what it should be is that it should be unwilling sexual contact.
And I would have said sooner, but like I didn't realize how bad that was until 20 years ago. I was an innocent child once upon a time, and then real life was like, no, maybe part of the problem is ignoring justice or honesty.
Yeah, like I said, it should be that is considered. Absolutely, I agree with you 100% then. I was just making the point that currently, by law,
reality doesn't care about my feelings either.
It isn't.
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Even though we're in agreement that it should be counted. It is not counted. So, by the law, she at most assaulted him by forcing him to have sexual acts performed upon him.
Yeah.
I've been joking about that in this I can't remember his last name for no reason, but Jake Mundo, he's a Brit who's been covering a lot of this stuff going on over there, and he's got a goth look, so that's his kind of
Oh,
thing.
Jake Monroe.
Yeah, in his chat, because yes, he rails on the feminists and a lot of the shit that's gone wrong in England. I flat out, I'm like, protect your seeds, sons.
Yep.
He's actually a really funny guy. Yeah.
I honestly mean that though. Like I've said in his chats a few times, because I'm just a nobody, but I'm a female. If I had sons today, I would tell them like, no, the checkbox thing is real if you're sincere. Because if you don't want a woman who's going to abort your children, don't date her. I know that's going to hurt because you might really like them, but if that's what she's telling you, if
she wants to abort your children because of bullshit, it's time to abort the relationship, honestly.
Yes, because it's your own standards. Have your own fucking standards.
And don't just settle for less either.
Yes. It's okay to have standards. Yes, I understand it hurts because the world is very prickly right now, but there are actually young women who aren't necessarily on board with that shit, I know they're rare because we don't stick them out on the spotlights because they're not weirdos.
Well, no, we fucking should.
You should.
And yes, M136 AL, it is absolutely, after receiving the order or the firing sequence, a few of the neurons stopped and went, what?
Okay.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
But like I said,
Mr. Sandman, yes.
There's things that you can do that increase the rate of certain things. There's things that you can do that decrease the rate of certain things. And I'm not going to say that someone who they just had bad luck with genetics and the first time that they decided to smoke weed, it ended up triggering a psychological issue, because again, that's one of the things that has been shown to be possible when it comes to weed. It isn't as ubiquitous as reefer madness made it out to. But
that was a big fucking mistake.
There
That was
is
an amazing movie.
Yeah, there is a noticeable increase in the rate of certain neurological disorders in the pot using community, shall we say.
Well, there's no real way to know who's going to be like that either, because
and that's what I'm saying.
Like even with potheads, like there was some where they really will only let you have a little bit if you're a new person to it, because you might be fine, you might actually get sick, you might get turned off because you are sick, so they don't want to push it on you anymore because you're not going to like it after that if you're going to get sick from it. But then there's the odd weirdo who's like, I'm off the moon.
There's certain drugs that will cause mental issues. There's certain ones that won't. Everyone has different tolerances. So some people, they drink a small amount of alcohol and they get absolutely blasted because they're a lightweight. Other people, they can drink it by the bottle and
still keep coming.
They're drunk, but they're not blottoed. They're just kind of normal drunk.
Look online. See if you can find.
Just like you have some people that they can do a large amount of various drugs and be more or less fine. You have others that do a very small amount and they are obliterated. that shit happens. So I'm not willing to say that if someone has done a drug that triggered a psychotic issue, that they brought it entirely upon themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They contributed to it, absolutely. But saying that they caused it, that's a step too far. And it's that same way with addiction. Yeah, they did in one way cause their addiction by taking the substance to begin with, but there's some people that they get addicted almost immediately, and there's others that they just don't get addicted.
I would also say it's also a habit thing. You know, for pot, I admit sometimes lately I've been using it because I'm dealing with a mild bit of depression. Is this a good way to deal with it? No, what would deal with it would be getting a job, because that's why I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on that. But in the meantime, there's days where I'm just like, I'm looking online and I'm seeing nothing, or when I do, I see the reports and I realize that they're being flooded with foreign workers instead of the 200 or 300 other Canadians that I'm competing with, some of whom are people of color. And I'm like, we could use those jobs too.
And related to that topic, I think that people that put out the fake ghost, however the fuck you want to refer to them, job ads, where it's not really a job is open, but it's a feeler ad to see if we were to hire, what sort of people would apply.
Yeah.
People that do that should be dragged out into the streets and beaten to death.
It's been a lot of that, and our market's been really bad lately, and they're shuffling our where they're funding. So like they kicked a lot of our unemployment off. So yeah, I was already in a struggle to get a job as it is, but now it's like all my income is coming from helping my parents, which I don't mind helping them. I feel guilty taking money for it. And I appreciate them for that amount of help, but I would rather have a real job.
Pride. It's a pride thing. I get it.
Just in case we have anyone new or someone pops into this at that point and hears me say that, that is a hyperbolic statement meant to express extreme dislike, not a legitimate call.
It's also
what Sanguine? You're not doing a call of violence. Here I got my beating stick. Oh well, I guess I'll put it away.
Yep.
Thank you.
I figure I should make that clear because, it is infuriating that those exist, since it's shitty enough getting a job normally. Having a bunch of fake job postings makes that far shittier than it should ever be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's also a lot of it is arguing with our job searches up here. So I set them every time I go in, and I'll do a search and then have to reset them again because it'll reset a few times. And it'll be for something like, okay, well, can you show me jobs that are actually in my area?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a pizza place in Toronto. And I'm like, okay, listen, app. Toronto is on the other side of the country. Canada is not small. In my own city, that would still be difficult to do. Like, if you go across town, like, there's certain ways where, like, over 2 or 3 hours doesn't make sense if you don't have a vehicle or if you're not making the money to make it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Europeans don't realize how fucking big the United States is either.
So,
or
like,
really anywhere New World.
So it's like I don't know who's running these things, but they really don't understand my country or our basic needs. And if they thought this was helpful to people moving here, it's really not. But it's economically the dumbest thing, especially to somebody who's like, yeah, I'm low income even with a job, so I have to budget. Things like travel is included. I don't mind transit. I'll take transit for a time period.
Jen, As soon as you guys become Americans, all that will change.
Well, here's the thing that you guys have to start with, right? Like Alberta was already kind of set up all right. Like my city is structurally fine. It's just everywhere that we were fine, they've dropped either funding or they've rerouted for shit that they haven't fixed. Because yeah, we had floods and stuff. They should have fixed that, and they haven't. So it's just basically like if you fix the basic infrastructure that they've neglected, we would be back on schedule because it was fine before. It's amazing how just people who know how to do their job can just do their job and stop focusing on the DEI shit. If you hire a brown or a black person who can organize how transit's supposed to do well, I don't give a shit. Just get one who does it well. Otherwise, hire whoever's good at it. And if they're white, then they're white. Give it up.
Certain things are DEI hired. Certain places need it.
It's so irritating to me because I've grown up with like so many people who were very well educated, and yeah, a lot of them didn't look like me, and I'm like, give them the job. No, you're giving it to some idiot who can't speak my language properly, can't do math the way that we do, because it's not that they can't do math, they don't do it the way that we do, so they don't understand our math. Like, so they can't count.
Well, they're a fucking retard.
Yes, that too.
Retard.
I'm sorry, sometimes they are. Like even in the
welcome to our life.
They have the average IQ of a dish sponge.
Like some people only really
dish sponge
function
would be
as a
smart.
driver, as a bus driver, because they can only remember a route, and that's fine. They don't become a surgeon, you know.
I say this and I constantly say this, and I use this term because everyone understands. You have your Shaniquas and you have your Elons, and your Elons are going to achieve high, but your Shaniquas are going to fucking be they're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of their life, and that is okay.
I'm not knocking bus drivers either. Like I would suck at memorizing a map, but I've known people with just a different intellect from me who could do that, you know? But they're not surgeons either.
But see, the problem is what's the word I'm looking for? The shit jobs are the jobs that matter too. The jobs that keep our society functioning. You know, construction workers, garbage men, those are just as important as the guy who is doing all the big brain thinking.
I actually think for certain cities they should get paid more. Like anyone who, like if Pratt, I know it's going to be difficult for him to fix everything, but honestly, if he could just pay people a decent wage to clean that,
yeah. Again,
I don't mind paying them. You know, if I was them, I would.
But again, that's those jobs keep society functioning. Again, if all the fucking trash garbage collectors just up and decide fuck you, we're fucked. That you see New York?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that was just a few days of that shit. Like trash is fucking everywhere because without garbage
build up a lot of trash.
We do. Without the garbage men to take that shit away, it just piles up and the rats go crazy. You know,
they get bigger and bigger too.
It's a cesspool, and then with the rat population comes bricks of shit like the plague, the fucking bubonic plague.
So if
the cats aren't big enough to do it.
So if we've already got the giant rats, right? We just need to find 4 turtles and some kind of weird green slime to turn them into.
It's
called
mutagen. It's New York City. Just go to a whorehouse and wait 20 minutes.
Oh no, that's the wrong kind of turtle. That's a different kind of turtle.
It's bloody turtle.
Also the wrong type of slime.
Yeah.
You said green slime. I'm giving you green slime.
I think Tier would know from experience about the stage slime.
See, back in my one of my youth, I was the top.
You were the town bicycle. Everybody had a ride.
When you're so sexy as a lich, the ladies just want you. I'd be walking down the street with my canoptic jars in my hand, and they'd be like, "Let me get some of that." I'm not a
In
piece
West
of
Philadelphia, born and raised.
meat. I'm
As
not
a
a
lich
piece
where
of
he
meat, man. You
spent most of his days.
can't just be harassing
Canonically,
me.
they would be disappointed because not only are you not a piece of meat, you have no meat.
I have meat.
Exactly.
That's why I'm crying my canoptic jar.
See, and that's why they had to have the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Are
Turtles.
you doing the fucking Rasputin dick jar thing?
Again, that's why I'm crying. That's why I have my canoptic jar. It works. I just gotta attach it.
Well, I was gonna just say, like, can you think of the amount of countries where, like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would end up as this, like, a soup?
Yes, a lot. A shit ton.
Shit, the U.S. just go deep south. Go to like a bayou, and you go to a bayou with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's some good soup.
That's some good eating there. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Jen. That's some good eating.
Oh my god.
I was like,
God can't save you now, boy.
That's just wrong.
Oh, I gotta remember to tell that one to Cryptic.
God.
Right.
God can't save you now, boy. You're in my world now. You eat
I didn't say
turtles.
God. I said Jesus Christ.
He can't save you either. You in my world.
Cryptic tends
Yeah,
to
you
make
just-
worse Asian jokes than I really could, but every once in a while, I'm like, you know what, that might be good.
He is the secret Asian man.
Yes, he is.
Secret Asian man.
I mean, he is. He worked for the government. He was in the military. He worked for the government. He's Asian. He's a secret Asian man.
Yep. It's sad that you're not the Men in Black.
Well, I'm not multiple people. I'm just one, so I can't be the man in black. I could be the man in black.
He also
You're not that suave.
He also
wouldn't
deals
wanna
with similar bullshit that I would give in his neck of the states, because Colorado does actually have a lot of similarities with where I live, just by the landscape. Like, we have hot springs, they have hot springs. We have mountains, they have mountains. We have a lot of ski tourism. They absolutely have a lot of ski tourism. The one thing they have is people, because they have a population. We fit in their closet too. We also have a hippie problem, but it's, the cities. It's always the cities.
Goddamn dirty hippies.
Mm-hmm.
You dirty hippies.
Yep. Dang it. But yeah, I feel that. And then also a lot of our mining community has been shat on for like years because they're like, oh no, don't get resources from the earth. Ew. And don't get me wrong, I understand that fracking is scary, and fracking done wrong is wrong. Like, yeah, don't fuck it up. You'll destroy a lot of things doing that. But I'm not anti-mining. I'm anti cheap companies being short where they shouldn't be, because that's usually where most problems happen.
I'm anti. I'm not anti any of that. What I'm anti is exploration of new technologies. There it is. Like, I think we should be looking at. We should rely on the old technologies until we can find a better solution, and we should invest in better solutions.
I'm just letting you know the old technologies still require mining.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I completely. There was a guy, a British guy, I can't quite remember. He told this Just Stop Oil idiot, look, until we have a better solution, oil is what we're going to use, and because you want to stop oil, so many more people would fucking die. It just wouldn't fucking work until the solution is there. We have to use what we have, and that's oil. Now, when you got this new technology and it becomes ready and available, then that's when we'll fucking stop using oil. But until then, guess what we're doing?
We have solutions. Most people just don't want to enforce them.
No, I mean oil is currently the only like wide scale heating. Oil is currently the best. Like even with an electric car, electric batteries are shit in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Then you got it takes 10 years to build a nuclear power plant. What you want to do then? Now, once it's done, but it's still 10 years of building, and in the meantime, what are you going to do?
A lot of the ridiculous build time when it comes to nuclear plants is the shit ton of regulation that is just against nuclear plants.
Yeah, but even
get rid of the bullshit regulation that's just about nuclear plants because fucking Jimmy Carter was a goddamn coward, and things get fixed really quick. Nuclear power is ridiculously effective. We now have the ability to leach uranium out of ocean water, granting us a not nearly, I will say a functionally infinite supply of uranium. Because we leach it out of the ocean leaches it out of deep vents, we leach it out of the ocean leaches it out of deep veins, and we can do that almost indefinitely. There's such a ridiculous amount of it underwater, and the ocean is able to absorb small amounts. Small, but there's a fuck ton of ocean water, so we can leach enough to run. So, make new nuclear plants, leach the uranium, make modern gen and updated nuclear plants, just keep on going for newer nuclear plants, and shit gets amazing quick. The problem is that Jimmy Carter was a goddamn fucking coward because Jimmy Carter was a nuclear engineer on Navy subs. He dealt with nuclear engines. He knew when 3 Mile Island happened that it was fuck all. In fact, if you actually want to know what 3 Mile Island was, 3 Mile Island was everything working exactly how you goddamn want it to. Because what happened at 3 Mile Island was something went wrong. A redundant system kicked in and fixed the problem before anyone even noticed something went wrong. That's what you want. And then they, after realizing, oh shit, one of the redundant systems kicked in, a backup system kicked in, we should figure out why that kicked in, which is exactly what you want done. They then turned things off, figured out what happened, figured out that, oh, the coolant was interrupted for a short period of time. It started to get to a point where it might have an issue, and a redundant system kicked in, solving the issue before it became an issue. Then we figured it out, and we went through this process. Again, that is all shit that you want. Do you know how much radiation leaked out of 3 Mile Island in the middle of that incident?
Nope.
Anyone want to guess?
Not very much.
It was the same amount of radiation that you get flying across the Atlantic 3 times. Not across the widest part of the Atlantic. It is from New York to London 3 times.
Damn.
Ooh.
That is fuck all.
Yeah.
That was the amount of radiation released in a very short period of time. 3 transatlantic flights. It had no negative effects. It was, again, exactly what you want to have happen. If you have a nuclear reactor that has an issue, you want a redundant system to snap on before anyone even has the ability to realize that there was a problem. And if anyone notices that, hey, one of our redundant systems triggered, you should want your staff to then figure out why. All that happened. Jimmy Carter got the briefing on this, was able to go, oh, this is nothing. But, and here's the but, people in his party had already started panicking because before Carter, a lot of Republicans had been funding nuclear research rather heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And they had reduced nuclear research. And they were looking at Chernobyl, which, again, that is a Soviet issue more so than a nuclear reactor issue, because the main reason why Chernobyl happened was the Soviet system of don't tell the boss something's wrong, because if you tell the boss something's wrong, you're the reason something's wrong.
And your head will roll.
Yep. Whereas in the US system, it is supposed to be, you notice something's fucked, you tell someone that it's fucked. It gets fixed so that it doesn't stay fucked, and everything's good to go.
And you get praise. Hey, you found this problem.
Yep.
Good job.
Which encourages you to, if you notice something fucked again, you will come out and you will say, hey, something's fucked again. So, what happened was a bunch of Democrats shitting the bed over nuclear power, which was safer, cleaner, all around better than fossil fuels, had much more minor long-term effects. The biggest issue was storage, but that was quickly being solved, including second-pass reactors. Do you know what second-pass reactors are?
Mm-mm.
They react the radioactive waste from other reactors. So, in order to generate power, they use effectively garbage from other reactors to generate power. And they work. They work rather well. And they produce much less waste than other reactors. So the waste that is produced by mainline reactors are then burned in these second-pass reactors, resulting in minimal waste. And we had means of storing the shit that was going to be an issue, and we were still figuring out ways of handling the shit that was still going to be an issue. We've figured out a lot of that since. But no, people were panicking because Chernobyl was fucked, and because, well, Republicans put a lot of money into this. So because Republicans put a lot of money into this, this has to be bad. Boo, we need to ban it. And Jimmy Carter, after realizing that everything was fine with 3 Mile Island, after knowing everything was fine with 3 Mile Island, realized, I can tell my people what they want to hear. And when I tell them what they want to hear, they will be happier with it.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that, despite knowing that it was nothing.
It's kind of what they do in the first place. I'm going to pick on Greta because it's funny and she's a useful idiot right now. But she started off as being like, hey, save the planet. Don't use oil and gas. You know, don't frack, all that shit. And then she spent the last half of her activism basically doing that. She travels more than any other person via boat. You know, she's right up there with the Taylor Swift so she can fight for Palestine and all that shit. And it's the very same people who are like, hey, don't use this shit, who use the most of it because they have no problems with using it.
The next words out of my mouth are going to sound mean and cruel, and it's going to sound
Oh, please. You know you want to say it.
It's going to sound fucked up. But I say this with the sincerity, as much sincerity as I can muster. I really pray to God she never gets in Palestine, because that hole will be passed around like a motherfucking
Like a
bicycle.
Kardashian at a black frat party.
She and she will be the entire time. God forbid it happens to her, and I really don't want it to happen to her again. It sounds so fucked up. But
As if she's not getting passed around on that boat anyway.
that group of people, the particular group of people she's trying to save, has no issues whatsoever.
Because she enticed them. Because she wasn't covered.
None. The very same people she's trying to save and give aid to are the exact same people that would harm her far worse than any Westerner would.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds fucked up that I even say it, but it's fucking true. They will use and abuse her and toss her away, and the moment she starts to bitch, they will backhand her.
Mm-hmm.
That's being kind if they backhand her, not punch her in the fucking throat.
That's kind of the
Yeah,
thing.
pretty much.
Even if she wore the headscarf, she would talk too much. She would end up being backhanded.
She won't shut the fuck up.
How dare you?
And and in their society, hitting a woman is totally fucking justifiable and legal. Again, not what's the word? They have no issues with using a useful idiot, and then when that useful idiot comes into their world, treating them that useful idiot like the idiot it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the boat
Like,
in
it's-
Sean Connery's grave just grew like 10 times the size.
It's like the quiz for Palestine. Oh yeah, Muhammad was trans and gay, and the entire time the Muslim person beside them thinking, if we had Sharia law, you'd be fucking flying off a building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's not true. They don't. Gay people are accepted in Muslim countries. Yeah. No.
Accepted by throwing them off a building.
Only in Iran where they're forced to transition.
That's a more modern thing for modern Iran.
But again, it is. You fucks are so retarded. Oh, you gays have it worse in America than in the Muslim world. And the entire time I'm thinking, when the last time you were thrown off a fucking, or somebody threatened to throw you off a fucking roof?
Mm-hmm.
Here.
And it's always the same fucking people too that say this dumb shit, and it's like, it's always these fucking retarded ass streamers, or and the same fucking people that are food influencers. Always all these fucking influencers say the same dumb shit
And I
over,
think the women,
over and over again, and it pisses me off that these people get thousands, if not millions, of followers a day.
it doesn't piss me off. That's not the thing that pisses me off. It's the women. I swear to God, it's the women I think are fucking worse. Look,
I think they're mildly psychopaths. I
Possibly.
understand that with being a Muslim, you've grown up like that since childhood. So, yeah, that is how you believe your life should be, even if it's fucked up. But like if you hear accounts from Persians, not Iranians, because I've actually started saying that too, because I'm okay with giving it back to Persians.
yes, make Persia great again.
If you talk to them about this stuff, they're living through a hellhole. They are literally living through a hellhole with people who, if you're not going to live the way that they want you to, you are going to be a slave. You're going to be taxed to the end of your life. You're not going to have any rights at all, really.
No agency, no free will.
You're not going to be able to celebrate your holidays. You're not going to be able to dance or sing your holidays. Those don't exist anymore because this is Muslim land now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm not anti-Muslim. I'm anti this side that has escalated this idea. No, they really aren't getting along with anybody else. They aren't learning how to. They were, but somehow, some way, we've set them back like 50 to 60 years.
It's the infantilization. It's literally infantilizing, and it's also because enough useful idiots have. The internet is the greatest. Is one of the greatest tools we have created, and one of the worst inventions ever. Both in the same respect, because Jen, you are currently in Canada. The only way I would be able to talk to you if the internet didn't exist would be fucking snail mail and a phone call.
Yep.
But me and you could have this conversation in real time right now because of the internet. Problem is also it allows the idiots to gather and perpetuate their ideas.
It's double
Shit like gang stalking. The gang stalking community is they feed on each other. Like they're literally parasitic to each other. Like they perpetuate their own what's the word? Their psychoses. And that's what the internet does. It allows cliques and groups to feed and cannibalize and parasitize. Is it parasitize, Sanguine?
Parasitized.
Parasitize. There. Thank you. Each other. Where they're all they're doing is fucking feeding off each other. So you'll have these dumbass ideas, and sometimes it's the loudest motherfucker in the room that because I'm the loudest, my voice matters. When your ideas are just as fucking dumb. It's fucking insane and scary, and again, greatest invention ever. It has made our world so fucking small because again, you and I can have this conversation in real time, and so can me and Terry have a conversation in real time, and we could broadcast it for others to hear. Greatest invention ever, but also the worst invention ever.
Yeah, the ignoring of human nature is just, yeah. Sorry, we take a little bit to blend. North America was a long experiment. It's not an overnight thing. You don't do it in like 30 to 40 years. It doesn't really work that way. And if you do it that way, you have to really do it in small batches. And I think we'll be fine eventually. I think things will go, get heated for a bit, but
it took Rome 300 years to get to its height. It took it one good weekend to lose to be destroyed. Like that's it. That's what it in a single weekend you could lose your entire country.
Yep.
It takes you 100. A single you can take a building takes months to build, and one good storm can destroy everything. It's that fragile.
We are on the verge of that. I know England absolutely is. Like I blame Starmer. He is the worst guy at trying to calm people down, and he's honestly
your Starmer is a wanker.
He is a wanker. Like for guys who want to preach for what he does, he is the worst guy for that team. If he honestly believed in any of the shit that he claims to, he would step down because, sir, you suck at it. You've had the reverse effect of what you claim to want. You want less racism? You've created more of it.
Yep.
You want less sexism? You've created more of it.
Yeah, if you don't want to create racism, don't hold people to different standards. If the crime for group X would be Y, then the crime for group A through X, or the punishment for crime for groups A through X for that crime should be Y. You shouldn't look at it and go, well, yeah, if this group carries a knife, that's a problem. If that group carries a knife, that's just their culture. Oh, they stab someone? Well, they stab them with their culture.
It's like in America, honestly, racism was out the door. Think about it. You had neo Nazis they were laughed at and ridiculed. The KKK was a shell of its former self. It was reduced to fucking a Jerry Springer episode where people laughed and mocked them.
Until the SPLC started paying them.
Well, no, until Obama came and started again. Here's this black man, this African American man who gets the highest office of the land. You know, a lot of others had to. He didn't get that shit by himself. It wasn't the black people that carried him over the fucking finish line. A lot of people had to buy into him. And yes, I will admit, when I was a young man, I bought into it.
He was a well-spoken president, and he was really good at selling what he was selling. I would have bought into it too.
I'm going to be honest. Hold on, real quickly.
Yep.
I'm going to say Young Tier was a fucking idiot. Young Tier saw this. I can very vividly remember being in the middle of college, talking to my friends, and finally getting the brother in the White House. My mind thinking like that and not thinking about everything else. Like, what was his fucking policy? Again, this first time I voted. So
I haven't voted at all.
See, the thing that drives me crazy about him was from the very get-go, when I listened to Obama's speeches, I went, he's very well spoken. He's a complete snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
But he's very well spoken.
He's the most well-spoken black man I know.
He's a clean-cut black man, very well spoken.
Joe Biden.
Oh Lord!
One of my favorite. Did Obama say this about Biden? Is like never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to fuck shit up.
Yes.
It's also it's the empathy thing, and whether or not you can understand where that's really coming from, because the left likes to throw that word around all the time, right? So no, I can't imagine what Henry Nowak went through. No. But if for a few seconds they could imagine scenarios being switched, say Henry was this big bad racist, and he's really mad at Starmer because he thinks that Starmer is doing all these bad things by enabling all these people of color, and say he made a shiv and went out and took it out on a Sikh kid, I would be equally enraged because he murdered a kid. And if Starmer was the kind of person to overlook that, I would be equally as mad because you're enabling a murder of a kid, and that's the thing with sympathizing and at least a little bit of empathy to understand, like, well, no, you could see somebody else in that position. You could see your own in that position, or you could see another person in that situation, which a lot of Sikhs in England are horrified by the way. I don't lump them all into this situation. I actually do hold their government more accountable for that shit, because I do. It is this continuous re-release and a release and pat on the heads and different treatments and different punishments and different rules. All of that shit enables that kind of stuff. We've known that for years. They know that with, like, Sanguine knows all this shit way better than I do. So I feel like I'm talking out of his closet. But at the same time, it's, if you can't understand that it is wrong to gaslight a child as though they're the reason that this bad thing happened, and it's suddenly okay. It's not. Like, what did was just as racist if it was on the other side. It was racist, and what the cops did was racist.
Yep.
And what
the fact that England has now, the UK has now set a precedent that if someone
Yo, Mitch.
is perceived to have said something racist and get attacked for it, that they will not help that person at all. Not helping. No help. You could be bleeding out to death, but because you said you were said that you perceived to say something racist, even though the cops weren't there to hear that part of it, they would still not help the person.
Well, you gotta remember something too, that they have no freedom of speech. Like you can remember the little girl that got arrested because she was autistic and she said
The police
you look like
officers
my
look like
name.
lesbians.
Yeah, you remind me of my name. You look like she's a lesbian, and the police officer arrested her. It's a fucking child, and she's autistic. Come on now.
And her aunt just happens to be a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like that just.
You had a butch
the UK
lesbian haircut. Of course you. Come on now.
God, the UK really needs its own fucking.
She probably was too. Would you be
Probably
surprised
was.
if she was?
Got called out. She probably she got called out by a kid. It probably pissed her off.
She looked like a roller derby dyke.
Which I'll laugh at her like, lady, most of the dykes in my day and age would have laughed at that and been like, yeah, I am. Like,
I was like, can we even say that?
But you know what gets
Say
me?
again?
Yep.
Minions, guys, minions.
Yeah, that's
true.
a fairly standard description.
Shoot.
It is. Do you remember the sheriff in New York? Not New York. In England, said I don't care where you are, you make fun, you make jokes, we'll come and arrest you. From Royal England.
It's true. I don't really necessarily have a gay card. You two, I apologize. I remember those lesbians fondly because they were funny and I like their jokes and I know you don't like jokes, so I'm sorry.
You're black and you work in the new.
You're with most American. You're with a bunch of Americans. We're allowing you to have jokes.
In the new LGBT flag, blacks are invading it.
You see, we're black.
You're
I'm not even joking.
You're the brown
That's
spot on the LGBT
one of
flag.
the chevron, one of the arrows into the rainbow flag of the new LGBT flag is meant to represent black people. I'm not joking. That's what the designer.
The fact that it says brown and furred.
Because Planned Parenthood is failing and they need to find another way.
Yeah,
the fact that it's turned fucking brown.
The designer, no, they're the black stripe because the designer said that the black stripe represents black people. The brown stripe represents brown people. So, for some fucking reason, it went from sexuality to, by the way, now two races are invading sexuality.
Yep.
You know,
and what does the Q plus stand for? Oh, anybody.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. It could be a pedophile. It doesn't matter.
So which nationality are the green, the purple, the blue, and all the other kind of random colors in between that?
Well,
like, I can understand the odd person being red because of a sunburn and stuff, and I would hesitate.
Well, if you look at the
yellow.
original Power Rangers, if you look at the color of the original Power Rangers, it's kind of racist if you really think about it, because the Black Ranger was a black guy, the Yellow Ranger was an Asian woman, the Red Ranger was an American man.
Except for the movie where they switched it up because they got tired of them.
Well, that's because the actors had already quit by that time.
Yeah, they got tired of people saying that the Black Ranger was black. So in the movie, and the Yellow Ranger was Asian.
Well,
so
actually, a lot of it, they really didn't care about that. It was all money, right? It was all money. It was all about money. Like the three actors who left, Augusta St. John, Emmanuel Jones, and Tran. Tran
didn't leave. She passed away.
Yeah,
she died. She died in a car accident, I think.
But
yeah, I still feel for her for that. Because like her.
So it was the Asian,
those three actors,
and the.
They left because of money reasons.
Yeah. they weren't making much on that show, and they got better offers. So, like, I don't blame them.
Emmanuel Jones was being a fucking dick, and he rightfully got banned from all Power Ranger conventions.
Emmanuel Jones, who?
The black
He
guy
was
was
the original Black Ranger. He was
okay.
the dancer.
Oh, okay.
He was the original Black Ranger. He started stealing stuff from conventions,
Ooh.
and I guess he was caught with like $100,000s of dollars in stuff because he's like, this is all stuff that's supposed to belong to me. It was kind of a big story when it came out.
God damn it, there were like 12 jokes that I all had to deny.
I know,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
know.
And he basically was pretty much completely banned from
Walter
ever
Jones.
coming to a Power Ranger convention. Emmanuel Jones.
Walter Emmanuel Jones. Walter Jones.
Yeah, Walter Emmanuel Jones.
Yeah. Some humans are like kinder kind. They don't understand that stealing is wrong, and they're honestly just borrowing it for a while. Oh, I forgot I had that. Sorry.
You can't talk about them that way anymore.
Yeah, they changed around season 3 of the TV show, I believe. It was around the ninja arc.
But
This must be a fan film.
There's just so much shit that it's infuriating. Stop treating people different if you don't want racism. If you don't want racism, if a person, any person, commits XYZ crime, then you judge them on the fact that they committed XYZ crime, and the only other things that you factor in aren't their race. You factor in, have they committed any other crimes?
Yep.
If the
Have they
answer
committed a
is
crime before,
yes,
their priors and all that? Does all that count? Yep.
yeah. If your answer is yes, then you make their sentence harder. If your answer is no, then you give them the standard. If your answer is actually they were massively beneficial, and this is the first time that they did anything even remotely like this, then and only then should you consider doing a slight, not a large, a slight reduction. Because if someone was a surgeon and then they get in a bar brawl and they're taken in because they got in a fist fight in public, treat them differently than if this is their 12th time in a bar brawl this week. And at a certain point, we need to have you've proven that you are not able to be rehabilitated. So we're not going to try to rehabilitate you anymore. You're just going to be held away from the rest of society. Because you want to say, well, the first time they can change. Yeah, first time they might be able to change. Second time, they can change. That's far less likely than the first time. Third time, they can change. That's far less likely than the second time even. Fourth time, they can change. There's a certain point where the chance of them changing is virtually nil.
It's also a lot of times when they say they can change, they get worse. Like every time they come back, they get worse. And when you see that, well, their change is like, well, no, their change is them getting worse.
Yep.
If the change is them getting better, like I understand sometimes people can have a rebound, or maybe it was an alcoholic, they've been alcohol free, but they went to a buddy's wedding thinking they'd be fine and they fucked up. I understand there can be a rebound, but if they're not making effort to show that, no, I am actively trying to change my life so that I don't fuck up because this could kill somebody or whatever the thing is, they're going downhill. They're getting worse. they're now a hazard.
Mhm.
They're now a hazard to the people around them, and you're kind of not giving a shit about the people around them. I've said this about the arena thing. That guy was a hazard to everyone around him, including his family. And as much as I do care about her, I think what happened to her was the most horrendous thing. Well, it's up there in the horrendous things I've seen in my life. That guy was a hazard to everyone else, including his own family member. His mom and his sister were complaining about him because they were terrified of him. So at what point did you give a shit about them either? Like, I care about you, Tier. Like, I think, yeah, I'm glad that you're in a good position and you're a safe guy, and you probably carry too. So, like, but at the same time, the idea that somebody
I'd still carry just because, even if I was in a position of safety.
Well, I don't carry because I need to.
But like the idea
really
that
should.
I don't give a shit that they're re-releasing people in your neighborhood because they're black, as if that doesn't affect people. It causes the death of a lot of kids. I've seen that, and those actually traumatize me more because I can't help it. It's a female thing to be like, that's a little baby. Oh my God, it's a little baby. I'm not seeing brown kid. I'm seeing a baby. They're all babies, right? So no, I don't want that re-released in your neighborhood. I don't want them around you. I don't want them around regular people, because regular people are trying to live their normal lives so that they can move forward. And I'm sorry that the left thinks that these people can be recovered. They can't. And if they could, you would move them into your neighborhoods. I actually do have a lot of sympathy for those stories, because they say, well, nobody covers these because you don't talk about them. But no, people do. And people see that and they're just like, the only way that I could help that is to throw myself socially under the bus, because I would call it out, and I would call it out more if I thought that we could help with that. And yes, that does mean putting some bad men who might be black in jail. Some women too, and maybe some white people too. If they're bad, put them in jail.
So, this is something that I needed to quickly look up.
Oh, functional wants to be on.
Functional. Let me toss.
I don't know when you did that. I'm sorry, I just saw that. YouTube's been weird for me lately. I'm like, oh,
So
something.
Oh, I just realized what time, so this is probably going to be the last little bit of the conversation before Tyr has to bow out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't already say that he needed to bow out. So, the thing that I was just quickly looking up is one of the things that drove me crazy when I was in corrections.
I just realized this time too. Fuck, I have terrible timing.
Sorry.
Yep.
God, YouTube is bad lately too.
So
No, I've just been busy. Go ahead,
That's
Sanguine.
fair.
the way that criminal sentencing works in the state that I was a corrections officer in, and in a bunch of the neighboring Midwestern states, is they have a calculation that is done called the criminal history score. What the criminal history score is that every time that someone is arrested or appears in court for crime, depending on the severity and type of the crime, they're given a certain number of points. Those points range from 1/2 point to, I think the highest is like 1.5 points. Do you know what the average number of points an offender has before they ever see the inside of a prison cell? 2 to 2.5. Which means that person has committed somewhere between 2, if they have high value crimes, to 4 crimes, 4 to 5 crimes rather, before they ever see the inside of a cell.
Okay.
Because there's a shit ton of programs in place trying to avoid them ever seeing a prison cell. There's a bunch of reform programs. So you get arrested, you get charged with something once, you're sentenced to a reform program. You go to the program. Then you get out. You commit the crime again. You get additional points popped onto your criminal history score. And you get brought in front of the courts. The courts decide they're going to send you to another rehab program. So you go to another rehab program. So you finish up with that program. They come in again, and you've committed a crime again. So you go through the same process again. You can do that 4 to 5 times before they go, okay, yeah, you're just committing the same fucking crime again and again and again and again. So we're sending you to prison. And then people are surprised when prisons have high rates of reoffense. No shit, a prison has a high rate of reoffense. When a person has to commit a crime 4 to 5 times before they end up in prison, why would you think that that would be enough to make them stop? They already did it 4 to 5 times to end up in prison once. So they get out of prison, and guess what they do? They often commit the same fucking crime.
No argument for me. I believe in swift and severe punishment.
Yeah.
I want some Old Testament violence.
Oh, no, I'm not even kidding, Tier. I'm all eye for an eye. You kill someone, we're killing you.
Yeah.
You
I was
murder
telling
someone in
someone
cold
out.
blood. It's clear cut. There's no, for sake of argument, there's none of this other bullshit that ifs, ands, or buts. It's clear cut. All the evidence in the world. I say, execute him that day. Execute him that week. And the family of the victim gets to determine the method of execution.
Since a lot of people have trouble with capital punishment, to me, what
And
should
they're wrong.
be a fairly... Yeah, I agree that they're wrong. I don't really have an issue with capital punishment. But what I often argue for as kind of a middle ground is, okay, if you have an issue with capital punishment, because what if we were wrong? What if they didn't actually commit the crime? Because that's one of the normal arguments. We've fucked up. We've had people executed that didn't actually commit the crime. A really good example of this was there was a father whose 3 daughters died in a house fire. And it was originally the ruling of the court that he had immolated his 3 daughters. Then the case was more thoroughly investigated, and this was the start of the burn labs. They did a burn lab, and they realized evidence that they said was of accelerant use was actually evidence that no accelerant was used. And it was just a flashover fire.
Okay.
So, turned out that they'd already executed a man that was completely innocent, while saying that he had killed his 3 daughters. So, if you want to avoid those, okay. An easy middle ground should be that if it's a single event that you end up in prison for. So, you murder one person, or you are convicted of an arson that killed 3 people. One arson. Then you don't get execution for one event like that. But the moment that it becomes a serial event, where it is not you killed one
Raisin Bran or cornflakes?
or 5 people in the same incident, it's now over the course of
Cinnamon
30
Toast Crunch.
years, you killed 45 people. Then it should be execution. Because that isn't one time. That isn't, well, we were wrong because we assumed that this. No. If you have 45 cases and you're able to convict on 10 of them, over the course of X number of years, the chance that you accidentally did that, I'm not sure if there's ever been an accidental serial killer conviction.
Not to my
I never
knowledge.
assumed you were acting with serial killers. Wow.
Accidentally.
But that's exactly why I was saying that it's only that clear-cut, brutal, swift justice is only for the cases. Jimmy Joe Bob grabbed a bag of his guns, went down to the local train station, started shooting up a bunch of people. We have it on video. It's clear cut. We have, witnesses, blah, blah, blah. Those, I believe in an appeals process. I believe in the gradient of the law. So that is an example of a very clear cut case. Now, you're giving an example. Let's say it's not so clear cut. It's a little gray. There may be some ineptitude or malfeasance throughout the court proceedings, but the person is still found guilty. Now they can still go through the appeals process, but because one sec, I'm about to land. Once the gradient hasn't turned to 100%, therefore, yes, prison and maybe appeals or whatever. And who knows? Maybe the appeal goes not so well for the guy, and it actually does. Like new evidence show, no, your DNA evidence was there. This, that, and the other. It's now become 100%. Then immediately shift that gear into 6 and lock and load.
So I absolutely get where you're coming from. There's one issue that I have with that, and that is the very nature of conviction should be beyond the shadow of a doubt.
What's that term? Fuck, I don't remember the term. But the modern interpretation, without a shadow of a doubt, is not the actual. It's kind of been evolved and changed.
It's been bastardized.
The shadow is not black. If we're going with this metaphor here, it's not black. It's not 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt means it's darker than it is light. There is more evidence that this did happen than it did not. And you're told this when, I don't know if any panel members have been on a jury. I've been selected twice. It fucking sucks. And this is what you're told. First time I simply, to get out of it, I simply asked, is the guy in or a Jeet? And they were like, they looked at each other, they looked at me, and they just kept walking. And then the second time I slept through selection process, so I wasn't really... I didn't know what I was getting into the first time. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do my civic duty," and then and then they told us what we had to do, and the fact we get like $2 a day or something, and I'm like, "Oh fuck this shit,"
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, Sanguine. I do ascribe to Blackstone's formula. It is better that 9 guilty men go free than see one innocent person face an unjust consequence or whatever. I forget the exact wording, but you know what I mean by Blackstone, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I personally ascribe to that.
Better that 9 guilty men go free than 1 innocent man should hang.
Yeah, innocent man should hang. So I do ascribe to that, but a big caveat to that is we are living in very... We all can agree that human society, since
we've lost our marbles.
It's ebbed and flowed. We've had good times, we've had bad times, crazy times, more peaceful times. And right now we're going through a what I believe is a new transition period for the modern Western world, in which we kind of have to start taking a hard line to the dog's been acting badly. It's time to roll up the newspaper and start batting him on his snout when he snaps at you.
Like I said, I agree in general.
I know.
One point would be, rather than it being I would still allow it in certain extreme cases for it to potentially come into play, but I would make it so that it is, if it's
You mean capital punishment?
Yeah, capital punishment.
Okay, I didn't know what you meant by this.
Yep, I would allow for capital punishment to come into play in extreme cases. So you find out that someone has horrifically abused a child, shoved batteries in them, that type of shit. The things that the UK government is currently withholding the names of the two perpetrators of, and has been for over a decade. In fact, over
I think it was close to 2
decades
now. Yeah, I think it's like 18 years now.
Then those people, in instances like that, absolutely kill them. In serial instances, that should always be you are a serial killer, you are a serial rapist, you are a serial insert horrific crime here, death.
And I think we go full Klingon with it if any legal counsel of the guilty party has been shown to maliciously obfuscated truth or evidence or what have you that would have otherwise also led to I believe that they should face the same punishment as the offender, whatever it may be. So if you are a defense attorney, something comes into your possession, not through the attorney-client privilege. Let me make that clear. Something else comes.
What I was just about to bring up.
Something else, like they made the discovery on their own, or something else happens, and they somehow not doing their job in trying to convince the jury that to remove the evidence, but like physically outside of a courtroom, like I'm talking in personal, deleting text messages, emails on behalf of his client or whatever. I believe that that immediately puts them on the same category. I know it's already against the law. I'm just saying we should escalate that and have a deterrent that says, well, if you're going to hide the murder weapon, and yeah, I'm looking at Gurdeep or whatever the fuck, say his name, Henry Nowak, took the son's knife and hid it. I know he's not legal counsel. I'm not talking, I'm kind of shifting a little, but
yep.
And hid that knife. I would very much so have that person face the exact sentencing of the highest crime in that series of events that led to this murder.
Mm-hmm. I feel that way about the whole family, because the whole family was involved. Like that's
what I was saying. Anyone who's involved, Jen, anybody.
It's kind of like
that for that there should be a charge that is related, not necessarily the same punishment.
Accessory to.
But yeah, they should definitely get accessory charges when it comes to that shit. And the accessory charges should be weighted for their punishment based on the severity of the crime. So accessory to shoplifting, not that bad. Accessory to murder, much worse.
It's like this week has had so many vastly different cases where the outcome is just so amazing. So I have been following a little bit of the Lego story.
Oh yes, I was about to mention that one because that one's fucked.
And I'll be real, I think all parties involved are shitty. I think the cops involved are shitty. I think Burks and Figs is shitty, and I think Ben might be a little bit shitty himself.
Notes? I have no idea what.
Okay. Do you want to give it or shall
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the basics is a old man collected a shit ton of Lego Star Wars figures or sets. So he had one of, if not the largest, Star Wars Lego set collections, specifically Lego sets. There's other minifigs. He did not have the largest minifig Star Wars, but he had one of, if not the largest, Star Wars Lego sets. Bricks and Figs is a chain of stores that what they do is they sell Lego sets. And you can go to them and you can sign a contract that they will facilitate you selling your Lego sets. So the Lego sets remain yours while they are in the store of Bricks and Figs. Bricks and Figs gets a cut of the sale, and then the rest of it goes to you. So it's a way that they get rarer sets in their store.
Right, they're a broker. Okay.
Yep. So they sell their own sets as well as these rarer sets. Then old man, largest or one of the largest Star Wars Lego collections. He has a terminal disease, trying to get money to help with his treatments.
Okay.
trying to avoid it being terminal.
Yeah.
Sadly, he ends up passing. His collection is still in the store. His collection naturally transitions to his children. His children then go, because they don't need the money in the same way that they did before, go and say, hey, you guys have our father's collections. Here's the entire contract saying that they are still ours. Just you're displaying them in your store, and upon sale will give us a cut, or give us the majority of the sale. You'll take a cut.
Yeah.
We want those collections that you haven't sold yet back.
Right. Okay.
Bricks
So what
and
happened?
Minifigs
What's the contention here?
Bricks and Minifigs says, we don't have your sets.
Oh, so they
and
just
they say-
fucking outright lie.
Okay, so you have the money.
Mhm.
No, they aren't your sets. We
Oh,
have a contract saying that they are our sets. Well, that was the previous store owner. They forced out the previous store owner and swapped in two different store owners.
okay.
That was the previous store owner that signed it, despite it being signed as officially Bricks and Minifigs. That was a previous store owner's signature. You can't hold me to that signature, and if you think you can, sue us.
And this is in the U.S.
This is in the U.S.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So okay.
It's in Utah.
So
yeah.
they realized very quickly that if they tried to sue them in civil court, which is what it would be, they would probably win in the end, but it would be such an astronomical cost, they would never reach a solution. They would just go bankrupt and they would die absolutely destitute
Right.
before a solution was reached. So they try to reach out. A number of YouTubers come forward, say that they'll try to help. Those YouTubers are then intimidated out and they leave. So another YouTuber by the name of Dangerous Ben, who he's the one that did the Scientology Sucks series and a bunch of other things where he did a really deep dive into Scientology, and he's done a bunch of deep cult dives where he's actually gone and managed to infiltrate the various cults, decides that he's going to try to help.
Okay. I get
So throughout the course of this investigation, turns out that the police are, the local police are for some reason in the pocket of Bricks and Figs, or of this particular store owner. And it seems likely that it's because the two store owners and the CEO of the company, who are all known to each other, fairly close to each other, are all also part of the Mormon church, as well as every major figure within that police department. So it seems like it's Mormons are protecting their own.
Ah.
Through the course of the investigation, Dangerous Ben has been arrested multiple times. He's currently hiding out in Mexico because American Fork, the area that this all took place in, has an active warrant out for his arrest.
Ah.
It gets worse.
He stole the Legos when in no way did he steal the Legos. They also, Dangerous Ben, as part of trying to recoup this, did sue them. Won successfully. What he did was he had the son of the original owner sell off $10,000 portions of the collection to him and 18 of his friends, and then all 20 of them, so the original owner and him and his 18 friends, all sued for $10,000, equaling the total value of the entire collection of $200,000. They won those by default judgment, and in order to avoid paying, the two franchise owners closed down the franchise.
It gets worse.
Yes. Every step it gets worse as it goes.
because they did a raffle for him, and because the law says because originally they can only sue him in civil court. Well, they did a raffle. Okay, you want to play like that? We'll raffle them up.
A
Oh, wait.
recognized by the state legal raffle, which it
Yep.
says if you try to withhold the prize of a raffle, you have committed a felony. So a proper crime, a criminal, you have generated a criminal case against yourself, effectively. That was reported to the police. The police refused to investigate despite state law saying that they have to. Also, throughout this entire process, the Dangerous Ben and his crew were requesting through FOIA all the body cameras of every interaction.
Okay.
And
Redacted.
the city police department illegally redacted a shit ton of the body cameras.
Oh.
They claim that they didn't illegally redact it. They claimed that they redacted in compliance with the state law, but they fucked up one of the redactions. So there's two body cameras that were filming the same thing. You can sync up the video. You can have the audio from the one which wasn't muted and the audio from the one that was muted. And you hear the two cops talking about how they didn't do anything. There's nothing illegal here, but they're going to arrest them anyways.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely disgusting. Like,
It
I'm not
really is.
saying that Ben is perfect. Like, the reason I pointed that out is because I've been watching Legal Eagle, and he's just saying that there's some flaws in his case. He's not against him. Like, he's on his side on it. It's just there's some flaws in what he's saying. But I think that's legal nitpicking.
I wouldn't say that he's a bad guy. I would say that, he's a YouTuber trying to deal with the law, and he fucks up sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His there's a problem with his method, but not his motives.
Yes.
So
So,
I honestly think he's trying to help.
yeah. So, massive thing unfolding. The Bricks and Figs stock price has been in free fall. This
Well,
broke.
It's a little bit better than that because Ben had a Patreon and Bricks and Figs was really mad about them having a Patreon, so they were going to sue Patreon, and the CEO of Patreon told them to get fucked.
Yep.
So if you got a problem with it, come sue us.
I don't always like them, but that one time I'm like, you got to win there. That's
Well,
that's
because they're taking a stance, and it's the correct stance to take.
They, for once, took a stance that protected one of their creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the long and
Broken
short
clock
of
twice a
the
year.
Dangerous Ben, Bricks, and Minifigs.
And then for other crazy stories that happened this week that is completely different, and it might not have happened this week, it's just when I saw the story, was that absolutely crazy chase, which I don't doubt the left is going to not understand. So there was this guy who shot and killed a cop, and there was like 100 cops chasing him, and they all fired on him.
Yeah, and he
Mhm.
deserved it because he attacked them.
It's not just that he attacked them. What isn't easy to catch in that video unless you catch like the right one, and I find the media does that. Like, they'll hide the one that's relevant. He's shooting at them all the way down as he's driving. Like, you hear him going for blocks all the way down that freeway, and he's shooting at them the whole time. So he's not just a hazard to all those cops, which they have a right to be enraged. One of their own was murdered. He's a hazard to everybody else on that road because he didn't care if he was going to shoot anybody.
Well, technically, they're still even if he wasn't shooting them, they're still in the right. He's an armed suspect. We have physical proof that he fired and killed a cop. They are well within their rights to use deadly force because he had deadly force.
It's just like, no, I don't like that the left doesn't think that the cops have a right to defend themselves. No, they do. And I think that they overlook the fact that while they're in the middle of defending themselves, they are actually defending the public too.
Yeah.
You know, and that guy was a hazard. Yeah, he just blew a guy's head off because of a traffic stop.
Well, he was a career.
I know.
He was a career criminal, and what they found in the car, they found drugs.
Yeah.
And he was he wasn't he was a fucking felon. No, I think he was wanted like for domestic, and if he got a warrant, you know, if the cop ran him, they would turn back a warrant, and he also had like drugs in his glove compartment. The motherfucker was a criminal, a career criminal.
Yeah.
And it was fucked up all the way around. And I'm glad he's not allowed to fucking bask in his yeah. Fuck him.
That car chase, though, I hope somebody makes a music video to it. I haven't looked for any yet because
Doobie doo, where are you?
No, you got use the old one.
Oh my god, dude! How good is Spider Noir, by the way?
Fucking fantastic.
So fucking good.
I was
So
surprised.
glad.
I'm
I'm so glad that Sony fought tooth and nail to keep Spider-Man because they keep doing it right time and again.
I was actually the only bad thing I had to say about the show is I wish they would stop using modern slang and vernacular in 1930s period pieces.
Yeah.
Because they didn't
Notice
say
a
little
these, like
slips here
say
and
less.
there.
What I will say is, when they do Spider-Man, they do Spider-Man well. Other characters get completely assassinated in the process, though.
And I love that Cage had so much fun doing this character again.
Because
I'm
Doctor
the
Strange
spider,
does
Janet.
not survive the No Way Home.
Yeah.
you know, the
His
next
character is completely assassinated. That Doctor Strange from early Marvel does not exist once that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Maybe-
a bunch of other characters that just get assassinated, but it isn't Spider-Man. Spider-Man is done well. Everyone else, oh.
Well, I just meant that like Sony's track record is way more wins than losses overall when it comes to the Spider-Man properties. You can't
like I
say the
said-
same about X-Men. You can't say the same about their other. It wasn't Daredevil. It was
And like
something
I
else.
said,
Anyway, not
even
important. What were you
when
gonna say?
they fuck up in a Spider-Man movie, it isn't that they fuck up with Spider-Man, it's that they fuck up with someone else.
Yeah.
Else. Yeah.
Because, like I said, it isn't Spider-Man that gets killed or a character who gets killed in No Way Home. It's Doctor Strange. There's no redemption of Doctor Strange's character in that. His character is just taken out back and old yellered so that he can do the dumbest shit possible at every fucking turn.
It's the same thing that happened. Honestly, they did the same assassination with fucking Iron Man's character in No Way Home.
Yep.
Or Far From Home. Hold on really quickly, John. How do you... Here's Tony Stark, the man that encountered the Tesseract, and Loki, who can mind control people. You don't build a fail-safe in the fucking system to a child. You give the kid the keys to the Ferrari and you don't have a means to turn it off remotely in case that kid goes fucking berserk?
Especially after you already fucked up with Ultron.
Yeah, you're telling me
Yeah.
that you have no means of turning this shit off remotely in case, holy shit, the kid, I put my faith in the kid and he was doing good up until a certain point, and he went fucking insane. Yeah,
So-
that's not Tony Stark. Tony would make a failsafe device.
Yeah, like I said, it's not ever Spider-Man that suffers in their
It's
Spider-Man
every other
work.
character inside the Spider-Man verse.
It is the Marvel characters suffer within the Spider-Man movies, which part of me kind of hopes that it's intentional. part of me kind of hopes that it's Sony going, oh yeah, you guys get some money from having us in your series. Every time that you make a movie with us, we're going to make sure you lose a character. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I'm really glad that you guys are getting shows back that you actually like. One of the other reviews that I heard that actually made me a little bit hopeful, because I was downplaying it really early. So I've heard people say that the new He-Man movie was actually really good. Like, I've seen people that
I've
I
been
knew
hearing
were
people praising it, so
yeah. There's
Yeah,
been a
I
lot
don't
of people
trust him.
I know these people as being really hardcore into the anti-DI and woke stuff, and I think a lot of them were going in thinking it was going to be a live-action Netflix version of it, and it wasn't. You know, I'm not saying it's completely, because I haven't seen it myself. I've only seen some clips, and I was a little bit worried myself. Because at no point did I ever need Tila to be the headliner of a show. I don't mind if you have a few segments where maybe for a few sections she's a little bit of the hero of, because they've done episodes like that.
You want to have the old school thing of here's the episode where the side characters end up saving the hero. Abso-fucking-lutely. Those episodes, they have always happened in old school cartoons, because there were moments in old school Thundercats where
Rhino
Lionel
got saved a lot.
wasn't the main character for that episode. It was all the other Thundercats had their episode. There was the Panthro episode. There was the Chitara episode. There was even the fucking Snarf episode. As much as people hated Snarf, Snarf had an episode where Snarf was the hero of the episode.
It's how you write it and what you're doing in it. And if in the show you have to tear down another character or many characters to do it, it doesn't read the way that you think it does.
Yep.
And you don't need to elevate Tiara by pulling down He-Man or the other males in it. That's not equality. And it didn't make her seem
the
tougher.
trailer. Even the trailer looked like fucking ass, dude.
One of my absolute favorite versions of the side character saves the day episodes from anything is from Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember the Xander episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
By the way, Giles passed today.
Well, no, he didn't pass today. He passed the first.
Oh, it was the first?
It was the first. It was just reported today.
Yeah.
Well,
regardless.
Yesterday.
And what the hell happened? Okay. I was wondering if nobody could hear what I was saying.
We can hear you.
But yeah.
It's 2:00 and I do gotta be stepping out.
Yep, you have to head out. So we'll go around the horn for parting words.
If you're passionate about Sanguine, devour him. Don't let Sanguine devour you.
If I hunger, you have no choice in the matter. I shall feast.
Yeah, on that note, rest in peace, Anthony Hurd, whose name I kept forgetting.
Anthony Head. Anthony
Stewart Head.
See?
Anthony Head.
I'm better with faces than I am with names. Damn it.
Tony Head.
Tyr was the latent gay one, not me.
Wow.
God damn it. With great power comes great responsibility.
I was right. It is Stuart Anthony Head is his full name. He goes mainly by... No, I did mix it up. It is Anthony Stewart Head.
I'll put it to you like this. Good journey, Uther Pendragon, the Repo Man, Giles. May you rest in peace, you phenomenal actor.
Yeah,
There.
he was fantastic. So, next up in parting words.
That was mine, so.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Everyone got theirs. In that case, I'll jump in with stupidity is better than dishonesty. Ignorance is better than stupidity. because dishonesty is a moral failing, stupidity is a mental failing, ignorance is just an educational failing. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Read a book, you lazy fucks.
Exactly.
Right?
Read a
And everyone
motherfucking
say
book.
goodbye.
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 Auf
I'll need
Wiedersehen.
it.
Goodbye.
Now I click this, but it takes a couple seconds. So suck